And we begin tonight with breaking news about the possible future of Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court ruling that legalized abortion in the United States. Good evening, I'm Leslie Foster. Politico just published a report with what it calls a draft opinion from the Supreme Court justices, and that report suggests the court would strike down Roe versus Wade. It is unclear if this draft shows the court's final stance on the matter. Crowds of people are gathering outside the Supreme Court right now. Our Casey Nolan is live amongst the crowd. Casey, walk us through what you're hearing and what you're seeing.
Well, Leslie, what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is a crowd that's continuing to grow, and we have already reached a pitch that is kind of intense here. As we show you, this is the barricade as far as people can go, and people have pressed up against it. Now, that is not to say, even though we are hearing from both sides, that both sides are equally represented here. As one young man just walked up to remind me, the vast majority of this crowd, based on the chants and the signs and the things we have heard and seen, the vast majority here are upset by, again, what purports to be a leaked draft opinion that would overturn Roe v. Wade. Officially, the Supreme Court tells WUSA 9 no comment on the validity of this leaked draft opinion, but people here are taking it seriously as they have come out to voice their opinion, something that may actually influence how we go forward from here, as this is, again, if it is what it's said to be, is just a draft. Justices have been known to change their opinion, even their vote, previously in other cases between a draft and a final ruling, which would come this summer. In the meantime, here is a sampling of what those who are against this purported draft tonight, those who are pro-abortion rights. Here's one person we talked to from that perspective.
You know, I am like everyone else in the city tonight. I'm processing. I'm trying to understand the new information of what we're being told. It's a draft decision, according to news reports. If this offends your values and your way of life, and it doesn't jive, I think you should show up. I think you should come here, whether it's nighttime, whether it's daytime, show up. And that's why I'm here tonight.
Now, one way of thinking here for some people there in this crowd is that the losing side, if you will, is often the more motivated side when it comes to voting, when it comes to the midterm elections. So there are also those here who believe that this is a good decision, should it turn out to hold, should it be, in fact, an actual ruling that is coming our way later this summer. Let's hear from one woman whom you may recognize. She is from a bit of a niche group of anti-abortion activists who has been in the news recently, the so-called self-described progressive anti-abortion activist, Lauren Handy, whom she was the woman who was found with fetuses in her basement. Her group, that was here in D.C., her group has made it out tonight. Her perspective on what this could mean.
It's the beginning to the end. The court documents leaked, but we have to keep fighting because we know the Supreme Court is swayed by public opinion, and so we have to come out, mass mobilization of people power, to say that the reversal of Roe versus Wade is good and it will save lives, and that is good, and they should keep going forward with the majority opinion.
That's her group with the drums in the middle of this circle, but that circle is not supporting her or her position or her group's position on this case. That's where you can see things are starting to get a little tense with the lights, the bullhorn, all of that there. Like I said, Leslie, things have escalated already. We're at the name-calling stage pretty quickly here as people continue to gather here. Again, most of the people here, anyway, not happy with this leaked report, this leaked draft opinion, as it's said to be. Leslie?
Yeah, very strong emotions. Again, we should point out this may not be the final word, of course, because the court decides this later in the summer, and sometimes these drafts are circulated to try to get the justices to see the point of the majority. We, of course, will see what happens. The court obviously has said no comment about all of this, but people outside have a whole lot to say.